Introspect, take a sec, watch your step, where you step, when you step, falling free through the sky, feel the breeze, feel the eye, all your fears, let them die, energy never lies, introspect, take a second, let your world unfold.
You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day.
I just realized that.
Nah, dad hat, you know what I'm saying? First Father's Day, the love over hate. Dad hat, shout out to One Love IE.
Yes.
Lacing your boy.
Yes. That's on the way. You're gonna need another hat, another dad hat soon.
Listen,
when it's time.
Collection.
Am I really the only non-parent in this group?
You are.
Ain't no rush. I'm cool.
It's crazy. Cool. You are. Do you want kids?
I do. I want a big family, but I ain't rushing.
Like big, like 3
I
or
want
6?
I want 10.
Oh, you want a league?
I want a starting roster.
I want
to play against each other because you're a 505.
He wants that 5v5.
I'm putting out. I am submitting a.
Oh, you don't want your punishment? Bet. Ball them out one time.
For the country of Abraham to be represented at the next World Cup.
Yo, jeez. I wanted the 12 at one point, so I could have the 12 tribes of Osahon. That's what I wanted.
The 12 tribe. What is that? See, I grew up in the US. I grew up in the US of A, so. You know, 3 is good.
Whole 12 tribes. Who was gonna run it?
3 is good for me. That's what I know. My family's got 3 kids, so all I know is 3. That's my favorite number. So
various relationships, the number has dwindled down to minimum 4. But any more than 4, and I'm not gonna complain. Any less than 4, and I'm probably gonna complain.
Wow. So you different. I never heard of a man do that. Say that. Like the less kids they have, the more they want, in a sense. Like, I never heard a man be like, "Oh, I just want."
I have a reminder for Son of Darkside.
Do you have a reminder? Okay. Do you have a reminder?
She gave that reminder out.
But no, I never really heard of a man that says, if I have 2 kids, I don't know if that's okay with me. Like they want more, which is cool. That's cool. I just never heard of it. Like it's rare. So
I'm just used to a big family, you know. It's just growing up with my own family. My mom has 4. Everybody on my parents' side, both sides, typically have an average of 4 kids. They're siblings, like my aunts and uncles, typically have an average of 4 kids. And so it's just used to a big family lifestyle. Like my mom is the only girl out of 5. My dad is the 6th child. No, the fifth child out of 7, but he's the first boy. Then the last born was a son, and so I'm just used to having big families. And for me to have one of my own, you know, I'm the type that wants to retire, have a big nice house with open land, family reunions. It's always popping because there's 50,000 different cousins, and that's all right. You know, I want to be able to sit in my rocking chair just looking back at my young old days.
And look, are you gonna have a do-rag as you sit in the rocking chair?
You gonna have a do-rag and talk about 2020?
What in December 2020?
Look, you're gonna bring up that cigar.
Look like Mike in The Last Dance. Gather around.
Struggle like I
gather around because this is some
shit. Oh yeah, come. Let me tell you.
Sit down. Oh yeah, sure. Sit down. Let me talk to you. Back in 2020. I'll tell you about June.
2020, huh?
June 2020 was wild.
We're still in June.
Don't know.
June's almost done, y'all. June, we got a week left in June.
We still got a week left,
and still so much has yet to happen.
Yeah, man. Let me intro this podcast because I'm about to get caught up. Welcome to Let Them Speak, episode 6. Number 6. Thank you guys for watching. If you're on YouTube, if you are listening to us right now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, thank you so much. My name is Cecil. I'm your host for this hour and a half, 2 hours. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. For this experience with my Nigerian brothers. And apologies to those who had to bear with us on the last episode. Yes, we had some technical issues, audio issues, but we are back to our loyal ground.
So I'm gonna be real.
I've listened to it a couple times, but thank God we are back on our loyal soil. And this episode going forward, will be in crystal clear audio. So we praise God for crystal clear audio. And again, thank you guys for even checking us out.
Zoom now.
You said what?
I'll sell all my shares.
Yeah, man.
Is this where we begin the Zoom slander campaign? Is that what this is?
I mean, look, I'm bored at this point.
I want them to keep doing well, so before I sell them stocks, but look, I'm disappointed. I'm
on board at this point, but hey, we're back. Hopefully everybody had a great Father's Day this past weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. Not really talking to the deadbeat ones who don't raise their kids, but the ones who are raising their kids, taking care of their kids, and loving on them and just interacting and engaging with them. Shout out to you guys. Happy Father's Day. I guess I had my first. It was weird. It felt like a second birthday. I didn't know what to do. I feel like I didn't know what to wear. It felt like, but
is that how it's supposed to feel? Like a second?
It was
birthday?
cool. It felt like it, honestly. Like, it may change next year, but for me, this year, it was like getting all these texts and Facebook notifications, and I'm like, yo, like, you might as well say happy birthday. Like,
that's true.
I like it, but no, it was good. I felt loved. I felt the community. It was still weird, just the surrealness of like, oh, you have a human, like you have a child, and they're celebrating that. It was cool though. It was real cool.
Doing your part to
right. It was cool. No, it was cool. Man.
I'll say this because this is normally a soapbox for me, Father's Day, because Father's Day gets no love. Mother's Day gets all the love, all the shine. Even
Halloween is before Father's Day,
dude. Listen, St. Patrick's Day is before Father's Day.
Yikes! But no pun intended. Abraham with the green.
That's that nice green.
I thought you said it because you saw the green.
No, but it was. Might as well. But you look at even from a church perspective, Mother's Day, of course, has more people show up than Father's Day.
Yep.
But this year, it felt like Father's Day was getting mad love, was getting some real good energy this year. So salute to Father's Day this year. I have my theory. I think it's because of everything going on in the world.
Oh, of course.
We got to uplift, men. I think people are tired of seeing, especially Black men, dying on video, and so this was the year to uplift. And it's unfortunate as well. We look at 2 out of the 3 like major cases that have been rallying points from a male perspective, police brutality, and they were fathers. George Floyd, father. Rashad Brooks, a father. So it was good to see fathers get some love this year and get their just dues and just desserts.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with you about to potentially join that roster. Nothing to do with that.
Not at all. It's I'm in the weird in between phase. I'm like, all right, coach. Okay, I'm out here feeling like Ben Johnson, the microwave. In October, though, I feel like people were giving me a lot of like, hey, like, happy Father's Day, but next year's the real deal. And I feel like next year I'm going to be officially inducted into the dad Illuminati. Like it feels like a secret society. All of a sudden you get Cecil knows. Look at him, he's smiling. They made him sacrifice something on an altar. It's crazy.
It just make you feel like you're in this special club, because the people that like congratulated me and be like, oh, happy Father's Day, and had those conversations, these are from people that actually like take care of their kids. Like these ain't like people that just be like, I'm just being real. Like it ain't like people that it ain't like those random dudes that be like, oh, happy Father's Day, and they haven't seen their kid in 2 months or a month. You know what I mean? It was from people. Hey, whatever. It's from people that have a good sense of like what being a dad is, and so that's the club that like, hey, if this is the Illuminati, then I'm down for it. So
sign me up.
Sign me up now. But no, it was good, and it's definitely a surreal experience to know be recognized as a father. in that space. This was the first Father's Day without my grandfathers, so it was cool. It was really unique to experience that and celebrate that too, because of everything that's been going on. So, and to your point, Osahon, I think like Black Lives Matter and all the deaths, and let's not forget, like, Kobe passed away. He was a father.
Oh, that's right, Kobe too, bro.
Of a newborn that just turned 1, I believe.
Yeah, on Saturday. I think it was Saturday she turned 1.
Just turned 1. Andre Harrell, a great, producer, father of a lot of artists.
Yeah.
He passed away. So it's been a lot of dads that have passed away. And I think, with everything going on, and people had to sit. We ain't doing nothing. We in quarantine, like, still. And people want to leave and stuff. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, we've had ample time to think about life.
Real talk. Sit and think. We ain't got no time to do anything else.
We have reflected on everything from what we eat, how we think, what we look at.
I just called up Pops, showed him some love. Because we're in month 2 of my parents, like, these are your months. Since May is Mother's Day, June is Father's Day, July is Dad's birthday, August is Mother's birthday. So the summer months is basically like their time of the year. So I was just like, y'all enjoying it. My mom was like, because I chatted for a minute. She was like, oh yeah, just like the winters is your month and is your time. And I'm like, yeah, because we got December, we got Christmas, and then we got 3 birthdays in January, and then rounded off with the last one in February. I'm like, true. So what am I getting for Christmas then?
A parlay.
She said that as if she didn't just be like, hey, your Christmas and birthday gift are one. So you're getting one thing.
Since you bring it up.
Yeah, they try to play me like that too. Like, nah, man. Separate gifts. Even though it's a week apart, Christmas and my birthday. Listen, pad my pockets.
Well, hopefully everybody's weekend was well. Actually, Abraham, how was your weekend like? How was your Juneteenth? Juneteenth
was cool.
Official holiday.
I chilled. I didn't really go out anywhere. Chilled, slept in a lot, caught up on some sleep. I didn't realize how tired I was this weekend, and then just hanging out with the homie. It was cool though. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed seeing all the celebrations. I know a lot of the homies back in Jersey. They went out. The barbecue, they was lit. They was wild and played. Shout out to Chinito, who I saw a clip of one of his homies like stating the rules of Uno. Be like, yo, we not playing that draw 2s on top of draw 4s. Like, so I can't use certain language. He's like, we are not uncultured. And I was just like, yo, what a space table at. But yeah, no, it was just that vibe. It was just that type of vibe. So it was cool seeing all the fun, seeing everybody being safe. On top of that, there was no, like, as far as I know, there was no violence that occurred while people were celebrating Juneteenth. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, shout out to people who celebrate Juneteenth. I felt like we saw like real Black boy joy, like the definition of it. It felt like there was something for us. Like everybody was just out and just having a good time. I will say, our prayers and condolences to the city of Chicago. That was actually not a great weekend. They got a lot of injuries. People, I guess, came and were shooting. A lot of people, 104 people got wounded. 14 passed. And Chicago's this year, the past 2 years actually has had a history of a lot of violence, but this weekend was really, really bad. So our prayers and condolences to that city for what happened. But yeah, Juneteenth overall, man, was good. I went out to a little festival out in Riverside. Not that long though, because I'm still quarantine minded. Like, I'm not about to be caught around y'all like that. I can't. Stopped in, checked in, saw the vibes, and came on back. I just couldn't do it. But it was cool. It was cool to see, social media celebrate, to see so many images and pictures. And I'm gonna say this, shame on you, Snapchat, for acknowledging Juneteenth, but the way you did it was so I'll say like this: there was no way it could have passed through your marketing department. Like, how did this pass through? There was a picture that they used of like a black cartoon image, but it was chains. He was chained up, and the way that came off, I'm like, yo, I get it. This is your first time really trying to acknowledge black people, but this is a bad start. This is bad.
Black
this is bad. In chains. This is bad. Like trying to shattering the chains or whatever.
Oh, I see you're starting to doing too much segment early today.
I mean, it rolls into the Juneteenth, but because at first I was like, oh, they acknowledge Juneteenth, yay, and then I'm like, wait a minute.
Hold on, slow down.
Take a deep breath. Say, whoa.
Like, how did this pass? How did this pass through everybody? Because you gotta, in order, big corporations, when you develop stuff, especially on the creation side, it has to pass through some people to get the okay.
You would think.
And you would see stuff, and I'd be like, yo, who allowed this to pass through? Like, nobody didn't say no. Nobody. So
nobody.
Some people didn't get it right. Some people did not get it right at all. Snapchat did not get it right. Of course, there's shows and people that did not get it right and still not getting it right. But it is what it is. Juneteenth was good. Osahon, did you get out this weekend?
For Juneteenth, I didn't get out specifically to celebrate Juneteenth, but I did a little thing because I've been monitoring, people's alertness and newfound education when it comes to things Black history related. And so I decided to do a little survey on my Instagram just to see where people stand. I felt inspired. So I asked a series of questions. First question, prior to this year, were you familiar with Juneteenth? 60% of people said yes. Second question, are you surprised at what you have learned about Juneteenth? 70% said yes. Next question, have you recently started to educate yourself on Black history and the Black experience? 80% said yes. Very encouraging. Did you celebrate or participate in any Juneteenth celebrations this year? 62% said no. But I had people hit me on the side and say, I just don't know like how or what celebration actually looks like. I'll come back to that question in a moment. Next question. Do you plan on acknowledging or celebrating Juneteenth in the future? 95% said yes. And last question. Do you feel Juneteenth should be a federal holiday? 96% said yes. So interesting. I had some people hit me back and say, who are the 4% that said no to it being a federal holiday? So yeah, it's like chill. Because I guess I'm gonna throw up an unpopular opinion here with Juneteenth. When we look at the history behind Juneteenth, first of all, Juneteenth was, I think we've inaccurately represented it. Juneteenth, what happened in Galveston on June 19th, 1865 was not, 68, was not the day when the last of the slaves found out that they were free. There were still slaves in northern states. There were still slaves in border states. As a matter of fact, the Emancipation Proclamation didn't really do much. So for all of those folks out there who say, well, Lincoln and the Republican Party are the ones who freed the slaves, they sure did not. The Emancipation Proclamation specified that slaves within southern states, the states that had already seceded from the Union, were now free. Here's the problem with that. That is the equivalent of the British government telling us here in the United States that we must change how we drive and that we must drive on the other side of the street, other side of the road like they do over there. Yeah, not happening because we broke away and the southern states had already broken away. So I appreciate, the sentiments of people saying like it should be a federal holiday, because here's the counter to that as well. If we can celebrate the 4th of July, okay, but a holiday that celebrates independence really truly for part of this nation, but not all of us who are here. Yeah. If we can celebrate Columbus Day, okay, Columbus Day, and that is remember correctly, I think that is a federal holiday. There are holidays out there where historical inaccuracies abound within them. Yeah, we still celebrate. Then why not with Juneteenth? Why can't Juneteenth be a federal holiday? If y'all want to give us just 1 month during the year and it's the shortest month in the year, heck, give us Juneteenth as well. Okay.
Right. Yeah,
that's my 2 cents. I'm popular. What's my 2 cents?
And we're back.
So Mondays covered that. You know, restaurants. I've been trying to do the same as you, Abe. Trying to buy local, you know, little small mom and pop spots.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Plus,
a spot
they always just be hitting better. I hit
bro.
a burger joint a couple of days ago.
Which one? Better say Tams.
No, I've had Tom's.
No, Tams.
I ain't never heard of Tams.
I've had Tom's. Their burgers are good, and their fries are just like
same thing with Tams. Tams be slapping. Okay.
Yo, local spots fries are so much better than commercial spots fries.
Tams has this $6 box that they started during the pandemic. Quarter-pound burger, fries, and 2 chicken tenders. Boy, and that's not even little itty bitty chicken tenders. Them things I can tell them things got some hormones pumped into them.
Because I was about to throw up a Winnie for a debate, but I'm like, wait,
no,
quarter pounder?
That Tams $6 box, delicious. They got a pastrami quesadilla. Who does that? Mom and pop spots do that.
Pastrami quesadilla.
Yeah.
That sound hood. If that sound hood, I want it now. Because that
Tams slaps. Okay, get some Tams in your life.
Wow. It's to the point where if I get a burger, it's not from no fast food joint no more.
Can't be. We got to get that mom and pop spots where I can taste the grill. I taste the
yeah.
Right
I know it was just cooked.
Ooh.
I know it wasn't just sitting there under the heater for a couple minutes because they were pre-cooking everything.
I feel the grill marks. I feel it. Day 3, which is supposed to be today, boycott online shopping. So no Amazon, no Fashion Nova.
Okay, so at least for non-black owned businesses.
Yes, that's what it is.
Cool.
Day 4, which would be tomorrow, boycott the supermarkets. Oh boy. Okay, guess we're not going grocery shopping tomorrow. Day 5.
I gotta figure it out today. Huh?
Day 5, repeat days 1 and 2. So day 5.
Okay, now we're moving on.
Hold on. No, it gets better. Day 6, repeat days 3 and 4.
No, we're moving on. Anyway,
day 7, do not spend any money at all. Period.
John Legend and
low-key, it just went from dope to like doing too much.
No.
Oh my goodness, we might as well jump
into too much. Anyways, move on. So this past weekend, whatever.
Ridiculous. That's wild.
One thing that was free was the Verzuz battle, our latest celebration.
That's another celebration. We in celebration.
John Legend, Alicia Keys.
Come on.
I've always been the first person to clown Alicia Keys because I always thought she sung flat every song, but I'll take it back. I do apologize. She doesn't really sing flat. She just has her own style, and that's, hers to describe. But it was a great battle, even though Alicia Keys' catalog is a monster compared to John Legend. So I do ascribe to that. But the battle was cool. It was elegant. They was together. The Wi-Fi was significant. They used their packages, the Wi-Fi packages. John Legend 2-step was killing me. Did you guys see it? I don't know if you guys saw it.
No, here's the thing. I mean, the packages were required because remember, Timbo and Swizz came out and said, listen, going forward, unless you use the package, you're not doing the battle.
Yeah. And I think some of them are like, we might as well be together in the same room because I'm not fooling in the house.
Yeah. So, I didn't watch it. I'll be honest. I did not watch it. It was my day to disconnect from everything. So I just discode. But I heard about the 2-step. I heard that 2-step
was some vicious, man. He got to do what he do. I mean, when when the song played, each of them got up and gave a little showmanship. Both had live pianos there, so they was able to play when the track faded and did that thing. It was actually pretty amazing. It was really good. Alicia Keys, like I said, her catalog is a monster. You get reminded of the songs that she did. Yeah, and of course, they played Superwoman and This Girl's on Fire and the song with Usher.
The whole Songs in A Minor album, like
right. Look, right. Nah, it was good. It was good.
Close the chat section for this app. I need to
close the chat section. You was looking kind of like stuck. I don't like. Why is he looking like that?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to live comments. So a couple of things. I caught a glimpse of it, but I wasn't really interested, so I stopped watching. Another thing is,
I'm sorry, I just saw your comment.
Exactly. That's the both comments was out of pocket and shall not be read on this podcast.
This should not be read on the air.
But it's funny. It's when I moved out to Cali, I realized for the first time ever that there are people who like criticize Alicia Keys heavily.
I was
I never heard Alicia Keys criticism until I came out to California. So I'm just
that makes
like,
sense.
huh. I was amazed by that. But yeah, no, it was cool. And from the parts that I did watch, I do like how they're following what Kirk and what Secular Saint Kirk and Uncle Frederick, Brother Frederick, Pastor Frederick.
Yep.
What they've done in terms of not making it more so like it's me versus you, but it's like, hey, let's have fun and celebrate. So I definitely like that vibe. It's definitely a better vibe going forward. We'll see how long it lasts. But yeah, I wasn't really a big fan. I wasn't excited for it. I wasn't really looking forward to it. It was cool, but you know, I was just chilling.
Yeah. No, it was cool. I mean, it wasn't like a memorable, like, oh my God, I remember this forever. But it was good. It was good. It was, you know, for what it was.
It was a good moment, you know, a needed moment.
Yeah, it was a good moment. Another news, well, it's not even news anymore, but I have a bone to pick with people like this, with Miss No Name over here. Who needs a name. I mean, I know she did it. You know, she apologized for even releasing the song after the song is out. Abraham, don't go away. Come back.
No, go for it. Go for it. Do it. Do it, Abraham. I wish I could do it, but I won't.
I will say this, and I'll toss it to Abraham.
Don't toss it to me. Don't toss it to me. Don't toss it to me.
I got a problem with people like this. She reminds me of a person who, not a person, but people who like to start stuff, but then when something gets, I don't know, hot, when the fire gets hot, you know, you backtrack.
Backpedaling,
like our guy who was.
He'll be doing too much
later.
Segment.
What did Jeff say on Twitter? He started backtracking like a Pro Bowl cornerback.
Yeah, my man was looking like Josh. Never mind, I was gonna say Josh Norman, but that was one season.
Wow. But I mean, she backtracked. She was like, "Hey, I apologize. You know, shouldn't have released the song." My thing is, you shouldn't have even opened your mouth and said nothing about J.Cole or even Kendrick for that matter in the first place. Honestly, like these cats are out here. Are in the protest, they are in, you know, doing their thing, but you took it upon yourself to say, well, they over here making songs and they're not really, using their voices. I'm like, they're using their voices in the street. They're not probably in the studio right now. So when J. Cole made a song that supposedly was about you, it was addressing the fact that you said it. So now when people are coming at you, and shout out to the people who wanted to cancel J. Cole. Y'all suck. But those
and Kendrick, y'all double suck. Kendrick,
for some stupid, for those who came at No Name for like what he wasn't even attacking you at all. Mm-hmm. Then No Name released a song. I forgot the name of the song. It was Song 33 or Title 33 or something like that.
Song Scottie Pippen might as well have been.
Right. And you still took it upon yourself further to on your stance to say this is what I said and I meant it. But when you realize people didn't change their mind on J. Cole, then it's, my bad, guys. I shouldn't have done this. I regret putting the song out. So now the song is going to be all the proceeds will go towards a specific charity catering to Black Lives Matter. Ma'am, you already put the song out. Now you regret it. If you regretted it, then take it off. Don't now say the funds are donated to a charity. That's what? So I just it wasn't even a beef. It was silly. I took my first initial thought, honestly, was, oh, she's doing this for clout. Like your name is not out there yet. So you trying to spark up a battle in the heat of the climate of what's going on in the world. So this is your moment. You failed though. I digress.
I find it crazy how quick we are, not just in our world, but in the Black community, to go into tribal mode, break off into factions and get polarized, So 1 minute it's Black Lives Matter. The next moment it's, we gotta look out for Black women. And the next minute it's, well, Black men, what have you been doing? Toxic masculinity. And it's like, hey, can we, what happened to having a conversation behind closed doors? Like I was taught, especially from a leadership perspective, unified front in public, you handle the business behind closed doors in private. And that's what this should have been. Noname, if you felt a type of way, then hit up the man in private. Apparently she missed Dave Chappelle's 846 special when he said, listen, the streets is talking. Like, the streets are talking. J.Cole has been in the streets marching. Kendrick in the streets marching. And what more do you want? I feel the same way about those people who feel like at this stage in the game, today, at this moment, it has been exactly a month since the video came out on this very day of George Floyd having that knee in his neck. All right. And it has been 2 months. No, more than 2 months. I'm sorry. It's been almost 2 months since the video came out of Ahmaud Arbery getting shot. And
that death was longer than that.
Yes.
We just found out about that time.
Right. So it was that was,
February.
8 weeks prior. Yeah. February, 2.5 months prior to that. And then in the middle of those, in between those was Breonna Taylor. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we are a month and a half past Breonna Taylor. So
speaking of which,
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead. No, go soapbox it. Go ahead.
That Breonna Taylor's killers are still not arrested.
Still not arrested.
You look at all the instances. It doesn't make sense. She was sleeping, and she basically got executed in her sleep. And how does that work? How does
here's my thing with that case. Even this detail that everybody misses. For those who say, well, they've come up with Breonna's law, that should be enough. And hold on. Here's the thing with the no-knock warrant.
Who says Breonna's law should be enough? Oh no!
Look, I need you to listen. Wow. Here's something we must all understand. This is what we must understand in life, especially when debating and having these dialogues. It's important to know what those who are on the other side of the discussion, debate, or conversation are saying. That is one of the things that I've seen. And the other thing I've seen is, okay, well, Breonna's law it's been passed, but what now? What else do you guys want? That's the other thing I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Here's what people are missing. Okay. When we look at no-knock warrants were what was used to target the Black Panthers. Okay. Because apparently the Black Panthers were a terrorist organization, but the KKK isn't. So I went to the Broad Museum last year when they had their exhibit on Black history, and they had in that exhibit the door to Fred Hampton's apartment that was shot up like Swiss cheese when the FBI barged in there and shot him cold blood. Okay, Swiss cheese. So that's what no-knock warrants were used then, and then it eventually evolved to be used as a part of the war on drugs. Okay, which we all know who the war on drugs targeted. Shout out to Nixon. But fast forward now to Breonna Taylor. 2 addresses that are being used by this known drug dealer to receive packages. One of them, Breonna Taylor's. Police checked with the United States Postal Service on both of those addresses to see activity. And it was confirmed by the Postal Service, the U.S. Postal Service, that Breonna Taylor's address was not being used to receive packages for this known drug dealer. Not to mention this known drug dealer was already in custody by the time they went and did what they did at her apartment. I'm sorry, when we talk about reform, this highlights why we need reform. So for those who are saying, well, they passed the law, isn't that enough? No, it's not enough. Listen to those facts. If the tables were turned, okay, if this was, I'll be honest, I would still be outraged. And this is what people I think don't miss as well in all of this, apart from Black Lives Matter. Like if this was a a white person who got shot up in their sleep like that, I would still be outraged. And let me explain to you why. Okay, it's what people miss. The Abraham look at me like, what? When we look
no,
at,
I agree with you.
Okay, yeah. And I think that's what people are missing. I remember a couple years ago, there was an episode where police shot up a vehicle where a man was in there with his like 3-year-old son. Okay, and I think the dad ends up dying, son ends up living. They were both white. I was outraged. Like, it's still, the outrage is in regards to how the justice system is working or failing to work. So Breonna Taylor, we see this as well. So at this point in the game, if you are still saying that individuals need to speak up, you've missed the boat. You have missed the fact that for those who have not spoken up like you feel they should, why are you still crying for that? Focus on the matter at hand. There are certain individuals who have not spoken up because, like Dave Chappelle said, the streets are talking. Y'all don't need to listen to me. I've been about this. So if I've been about this in the past, why do you all of a sudden need me to step up to your level of wokeness? Like, no, it's not necessary. I've been laying foundation. I've been doing the groundwork. This traces back generations to my, great granddaddy, right? But if you're looking for certain white folks to speak up at this point in the game, leave it alone. Okay, it's not going to happen. You've already seen the indifference and the ambivalence. So don't demand from folks what they wouldn't give up in the first place. They wouldn't give in the first place. Now, it's a different story if you've had conversations with people and they're like, listen, my role is different in all this. There's other stuff I'm doing behind the scenes. Respect. But for you to call out someone like J.Cole shows me Noname Gypsy that you looking for clout, looking for
I just feel like people don't recognize the fact that I'll say this, people are missing, like you said, they're just missing the point altogether. And each time something happens, it's almost like you give them there's stuff that gives them ammo to miss the point. Like I've recently had to entertain questions of the death of Toya, and then combine that with the recent tragedy in Chicago with all these people getting wounded.
Right.
And there has been people now, the people who missed the point, that said, well, see, what about black on black crime? And that whole stupid question that's come back up again. And I've told people, and I've said this, black on black crime is not a real, it cannot be counted as a real thing, because if you take a look at just the history of why it's black on black crime, number one, and I've said this on recent episodes, nobody's going to harm anybody because they're black, or the black person not going to harm another black person because of their skin color. Now, don't get me wrong, a killing is still a killing, a murder is a murder. It's still wrong, but the reasoning is still wrong. But you will never hear a black person kill another black because he's black. Number two, when it comes to the black on black crime, the only reason why that happens is because you put us too close to each other.
Hold on.
No, sir. Hello. No, anyone heard of redlining? Redlining.
Redlining.
like we cattle. Oh my God.
Like, and it goes back to the saying, and I know it sounds cliche, but it goes back to the whole saying of you hurt the people you love. You hurt the people you care about sometimes. So when you put us in this proximity because you want to keep us out everywhere else, what do you expect us to do when we're fighting for, financial freedom, when we're trying to get education, when we're trying to scrap for food, when we're trying to shop for clothes, when we're trying to take care of our kids? What do you expect? So that's why I get frustrated. I do get frustrated, as well as anybody should, when you see tragedies like Chicago happen, when you see all the, black people killing black people. Yes, be frustrated, but let's not change the narrative and say, see, black on black crime is the reason why we shouldn't tackle racism. That's stupid. That's the part where I get frustrated, where it's like, well, don't use that to now say, well, this is why, racism is happening and police brutality. That has nothing to do with it. And if you feel like that's the case, you have clearly missed it. That you might be a little racist yourself.
That's the reason why police can violently kill somebody in their sleep.
Well,
exactly.
Well, because you guys do it more than they do. What?
And that's not even. It's. I wish people would stop. I wish people would stop that stat. Like, black on black crime is not really a stat.
Here's what this is what is, I think, I've enjoyed about this season, as twisted as that may sound, is this. I think for so long, I've been telling people this, especially white folks, proximity does not equate to intimacy. So you can be a white person with a bunch of white friends and still not know their actual experiences, what they experience on a day-to-day basis, because they put up a brave face and swallow it for so long, like we've been told to, and just act like everything is cool. Why? Because if we show any emotion, we're an angry, black fill in the blank, right? Yeah. So in this season, though, and then even when it comes to the conversations that we do have about our experiences, they're behind closed doors with each other. So, man, you won't believe what happened to me. And then even just thinking through myself, and I know, Cecil, you're thinking about this as well, having a son, is that having the talk, right? The talk, not the birds and the bees, but the other talk, okay?
Which is crazy. Like, this talk is
crazy.
Actually...
We have to have two talks.
The fact that we have to have two talks, the birds and the bees, means nothing to us. Like, I feel like we can have that talk right now.
That talk's easy. Listen, man, that talk's easy. But the other talk, I got a homeboy who had that talk with his daughter, his 6-year-old daughter recently. And he said he got choked up having that talk. I'm getting choked up reading his post on Facebook as he's describing what that looked like. Yeah. And so we have to have those conversations. And so we tell our experiences to each other and to our children as a cautionary tale. Hey, stay away. But this season has given, I think, a new freedom for us to be able to tell everyone and anyone who will listen, this is my experience. Yeah. And so you can try to fight and argue with numbers all day, and numbers can be manipulated. Listen, I took statistics. I know how numbers can be manipulated, percentages of error, all of those things, right? But you cannot deny someone's experience. And if you would have the audacity to try to argue or confuse or downplay someone's experience, that lets me know there's something wrong with you as a human being. As a human being, you lack empathy and compassion. If you would hear someone's experience and go, well, what did you do to put yourself in that situation? Or maybe you should... Right. I was talking to my homeboy today. Said he got pulled over by the police, by a motorcycle cop on the freeway, and he said he did literally nothing wrong. Okay, cop was weaving in and out of traffic. You know how they do to try to slow down traffic because something happened. So he slowed down. Then next thing you know, he said traffic advances. Next thing you know, motorcycle officer speeds by him. Pulls up next to him, they make eye contact. He was like, all right, cool. I guess this guy recognizes or sees who I am. Whatever, keeps it pushing.
I ain't making eye contact with no cop.
Bro, the guy pulls him over because and the cop knew what he looked like because he didn't have tinted windows. Pulls him over, right? Officers, pissed off, talking sideways to him. License registration. All right, so he's looking for. He's in a loaner car because his car's having maintenance done on it. He's on a loaner from BMW, so he's looking. Oh shoot, I don't have my stuff in my. Oh, it's in my bag in the back. Oh, shoot. So he goes. He's flustered. Think about this. We get flustered when the police pull us over. So he's like, all right, officer, like my officer's pressing him. So where's your stuff? You don't have your license registration. Oh, okay, officer, it's in my bag in the back seat. Is it okay if I get it? I don't feel comfortable with you because he was turning back and then he goes, oh shoot, hold on. The fact that he had to second guess the officer, second guess turning to the back seat
to a person that's supposed to protect and serve us,
dude. And so
that's the perspective. That's the flip.
That's the flip. He goes, listen, I got to get it from the back seat. Well, I don't feel comfortable with you going to your back seat to get it.
But then if you ask them, well, can you get it? No. You shouldn't. Why is it in the back? I'm like, okay, so we're gonna go in the circles, bro.
It reminds me of a tweet that I saw from a police officer, an alleged police officer who tweeted a picture of a dark figure at night turning around, and you're not sure whether he's about to pull a gun or whatnot, and you're looking at it from the perspective of police officer. And the guy basically, to paraphrase, said that every day we put our life on the line, not knowing if this is going to be our last. Like, we have to make a split second decision. And look, I get it. When certain conditions are met, I get it. You got to make a split second decision on whether to shoot or to lose your life, for sure. But how can you apply that logic to a lot of instances that we've seen where, like, for example, your knee is on George Floyd's neck. a kid is playing with a toy gun and running around playing with a toy gun and he gets shot. A dude is walking around a store. A woman is sleeping. A woman is just minding her business in her car. How can you apply that logic of, I feared for my life, so I did what I went to instinct? It doesn't make sense. For example, even with the recent killing of the 18-year-old Latino male from Gardena,
security guard, man.
He's running away because he's scared, and rightfully so. He's scared. No security officers at that AutoZone, I believe it was, are armed, and you fire 6 to 8 shots, and you're saying we fired warning shots. Warning shots go up in the air, not directly at the back of an individual fleeing. Like, even if an individual is fleeing, what gave you the feeling that, I was threatened for my life? Right. I had to put him down, especially since he wasn't being arrested for violent crime. That's the issues that we are trying to highlight and point out. We're trying to make it known that, the methods being employed by police in non-violent situations, why is it so easy for a police officer to see a person of color and automatically think violence? Like, this person is about to shoot me. This person is going to kill me, going to take my life. This person clearly must be strapped. They must have weapons on them. And we get so upset with that. And then we have instances where people are protesting their gun rights and pulling up to Capitol buildings strapped up like they're about to go to war. Strapped up.
Right.
And apparently no fear at all. Now, look, I'm more afraid if you put a black male wearing a hoodie in a dark alley, and you put members, a gun right activist strapped up, I'm gonna tell you who I'm gonna be more fearful of. Bro. I'm gonna be fearful of the guy who got automatic grenades on him for no reason. Like, I'm like, that guy's about to commit a terrorist act. That's the guy who's ready to take some lives. That's who I'm more afraid of. Right. Person in the dark alley, hey, what's up? What's good? Let's see what happens. I'm ready to go down that route 10 times out of 10. Yeah. So it blows my mind. It really does how this works, and how people just don't understand it. I don't understand what's so difficult to understand.
Because people assume because they've not experienced it, therefore it must not exist.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to understand what you haven't experienced yet.
Right. I heard a guy, former police officer. Now he's a talking head for a lot of conservative groups. He's black. And he said it in a recent YouTube video. I've never experienced racism in my life. So that is your justification for why all of the protesting and
I didn't know we had another Candace Owens.
He's pretty much the male version of Candace Owens. Seriously. And as I'm listening to him talk, I'm like, I've heard all these talking points before. They sound really regurgitated. Then I did my research and I saw who was lining his pockets. And I said, oh, okay, it makes sense. Right. It's kind of hard for me to even take you seriously. So people assume because they haven't experienced it that therefore it doesn't exist. And because they lack empathy, they refuse to listen and say, that is unfortunate. That's not good. That's not okay. Like I said,
something is wrong with this.
Something is wrong. So regardless of race, injustice is injustice. Wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
Be willing to call it out, not just in certain situations that either A, you're passionate for, or B, are convenient for you. Okay.
Yeah. And that's why I think this is a good segue to this clip, because I feel like people don't understand why we do what we do, why are we marching, all this stuff that we're doing, and people either make a mockery of it or they literally belittle it because of their lack of understanding. Joe Rogan put out a clip of his podcast, and
the $100 million man.
The $100 million man. And I'll be honest, lately he's been putting his foot in his mouth about a lot of stuff. And I don't know if that's because he's always been doing it and people just now catching on because of the 100 mil, or he got the 100 mil and was like, F it, here I is. I'm about to share my heart. But no, I just want to
this leaderless movement And it seems so attractive to young people that do feel disenfranchised by the system. So I watch them. I mean, I've seen so many videos of these people out there screaming and cheering and chanting, and they feel like they're a part of something, right? And they are, right? But what is that thing that they're a part of? Like, what's the end goal? That doesn't seem to have been really clear. Still, like, there's kids out in, they were out in Woodland Hills out there chanting, "No justice, no peace." And I'm like, okay, what justice are you talking about? Are you talking about George Floyd? Well, that in that case, it seems like that guy's going to go to jail for the rest of his life. And I don't know if that's justice or not. That police department has been disbanded. I don't know if that's justice or not. But what is justice and what is peace? It's just a slogan, but they feel good saying it. No justice, no peace. But what, I don't know what you're saying, but you feel very passionate about what you're saying. And I think if you pulled one of those kids aside and said, what's your message? And what are you trying to do? I think a lot of them would have nothing to say. And that's very concerning to me. I'm very concerned about that because it seems like they're very enthusiastic and passionate about
How are you concerned, Joe?
An invisible enemy, an enemy that they can't put on a scale. They can't tangibly describe it in a way that I understand it completely. It just seems like the structure of things they feel like is unjust.
Okay, so Joe, I want to go in on this. Okay. All right, so Joe, first of all, you're disrespecting this generation of youth. This generation is making themselves aware. They're educating themselves. Second of all, no justice, no peace did not just come up after the George Floyd murders. We've been saying that for years. And the reason why we're saying no justice, no peace is because we've had various instances, i.e. Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, where individuals, look at Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, where
Eric Garner,
where individuals haven't faced justice. Like, no, we're not going to be satisfied because one time out of the hundreds of killings, justice is finally shown. No, we're saying that because there still needs to be work done. One instance of justice isn't enough. One instance of, you say that the police officer is going to go to jail for life. We don't know that. We thought that George Zimmerman was going to get the book thrown at him. My man walked away scot-free. You know how many people
he's signing Skittles right now,
right? You know how many people have been arrested and put on trial and then just been acquitted? So what are you talking about justice for? You're not understanding. What you're doing is looking at it with blinders on. Joe was only looking at the George Floyd situation, and that's it. When we're pointing to a bigger picture. And that right there is upsetting. That's right there is an example of someone who's not taking the time to educate themselves. And you know what? Maybe he just doesn't have people in his circle who's like, yo, Joe, look, you're looking at it too closely. You need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. You talk about these protesters not really knowing what they're doing, fighting an invisible enemy. They are fighting police brutality. They are fighting racism. Racism is not an invisible enemy. Don't you dare tell me that racism is an invisible enemy. We've been facing that for centuries. And if you're not a person of color, you wouldn't know anything about that. But people of color have been facing that for ages.
That's the part where I'm like, invisible enemy. Who? We don't want Satan. Like, what are you talking about here? He sounds like the guy. And again, we are all not racist because we all have white friends. We have white probably co-workers. So hear us. We don't hate white people. That's not, because I know the past few episodes we've been on it with racism. We don't hate white people. So going forward, anyways, he sounds like the white person who looks out their window and sees like fire happening. And it's like, oh my God, somebody should call 911. And you have a phone right next to you. Like,
or you're using the phone to record the fire.
Yeah, like, what? How are you? So he just sounds like a person that does no research. You're not diving into anything, and it's really surprising seeming, the platform that he has to not be conscious of what's going on. That's alarming to me. That's very hurtful. As we all are fellow podcasters, and we have to use this platform responsibly. I got a problem with the fact that you're not. How can you say all of this stuff? So I got a problem with the whole invisible enemy thing. And the other thing that was alarming to me was saying, there's no structure, there's no leader. Well, here's a news flash. And for those who have the same thought, maybe the reason why we chose to lead by committee this time around is because every time we have a leader rise up, you either dismantle, manipulate, shoot, or just murder. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, other leaders, other black leaders.
Fred Hampton for the Black Panthers. Listen,
other leaders,
Angela Davis and Martin and Malcolm were being monitored by the FBI. Come on. Monitored by the FBI for what?
Exactly. So don't tell these people that we have no leader. We're just switching up the strategy. To be real, like black people, this in this generation, I feel like actually get it when it comes to protesting and marching, knowing what they have to do. When it comes to that, are we still probably losing? I don't have enough knowledge on laws and something like that. Yes, I can say that fairly. I don't think we have enough knowledge yet, but I feel like we're hitting a stride where we have the desire to, and we are. I literally see people now watching what they say, and diving into the books when it comes to their history and learning stuff. I think Juneteenth, that's why Juneteenth was so monumental, because now you have a sea of black people that recognize their culture, like the real culture and what really happened back in those days. So for Mr. Rogan to say, well, there's no leader. Well, the fact is, like I said, every time a person rises up, they're dead. So
shout out to, let me take a moment, uplift Gen Z and millennials, okay? And the tail end of the millennials, all right?
Yes.
The top end of millennials, they're pushing 40. Yeah, you're Gen Z. Yeah, you're in Gen Z. So no, you're in Gen Z. The problem is because the millennial has become this caricature and the butt of jokes when people forget, like millennials, especially on the top end, like looking to mid to late 30s and 40 right now. So yeah, bump all that millennial talk. Yeah. But the numbers show, the studies show, these two generations want to have a cause to run behind and stand for. They are all about it when it comes to social injustice. So all of this talk about, well, they just want to find something to get behind. You dang skippy, they want to find something to get behind. Because they realize that change needs to happen. They're tired of seeing the world through the lens of the I told you so's of grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad. Like they want to see real change happen.
They wasn't raised in this culture back in the day. So they don't know that. They know equality. What they know is black, white, Asian. They see all these people the same. They're friends. Are different races now.
They're friends. The only thing that they need
it's not the same.
Is an education in the experiences of these different races. But that doesn't mean that. And I hate when people say this. Well, that generation doesn't see color. So why are they fighting? They're fighting because they may not see color, but they see that other people see the color and treat others differently because of it. And for those of you out there who are saying, well, I'm trying to raise my kids not to see color. It's not that you raise your kids to be colorblind, but you raise your kids to treat people equally and to treat people with love and kindness and consideration. So this talk about, generation, they don't even know what they're trying to get behind and all of that. No, I'm not with that. They know, and they are trying to be a part of something. They're trying to be a part of change. And if there's anything that it sums up what the fight is about, is change and equality. And if you can't see that change needs to happen,
I don't know.
You need a better eye surgeon than Stevie Wonder.
Yikes, he can't get one. So on a lighter note, I know all this stuff is going on, but of course, sports is trying to kick off. They're trying so hard, but we know in our gut it ain't happening. So in the midst of all of this, the former Thunder legend, Hall of Fame legend. No, we're not talking about Durant. Talking about Mr. Kendrick. Big Perk. He had a little tiff with Kyrie, and then he sparked up a second round, actually, because after they deaded their beef.
This is round 3. This is round three. Because as we're going to hear in this recording right now, there was a round that we didn't all know about, and then there was the ongoing situation, and then we thought they deaded it when
Kobe passed.
Yeah, Kobe passed. We thought, okay, everything's cool. Then Kendrick had to say what he had to say about Kyrie, and for some reason, this looks like some kind of issue that Kendrick has with Kyrie.
And KD went in the comments and called him a sellout, and Kendrick hopped on
First Take. And has some
Stephen A in his turquoise polyester suit.
Don't do that.
And hey man, but his beard is full.
His beard is luscious.
Beard is popping. So this is what he said to Katie, who said he's a sellout.
On my Instagram or whatever, I done been on First Take. I done been on the Get Up, Hoop Stream, preaching out about Black Lives Matter and fighting the fight. I was one of the first ones to call out the NBA owners about speaking out and taking action on what's going on in America, followed up by a phone conversation an hour and a half long with Danny Ainge. So don't tell me nothing about being a seller.
Wait, hold on. Danny Ainge.
Danny Ainge.
Yo, before you continue, low key, and I'm gonna probably get flack for this, but I'm myself and I proceed without caution sometimes. Remember that video of those two kids, and one of them was talking about how his friend is stupid and how he slept over for 6 days and had to make him a ham and cheese sandwich, and how he burned. Yeah, remember that video?
Okay,
that's what Kendrick reminds me of right now. That's what Kendrick reminds me of of that little big black boy with the cap on and who's just mad and just letting his frustrations out on camera. That's the vibes I'm getting right now.
Listen, it gets better though. It gets better.
It gets better.
And by better, I mean worse.
Because that ain't even for me and you, brother. Because you know what? Let me remind you something. The same sellout that's sitting right here, I remember this day like it was yesterday.
Shout out to Dante Walter.
2011, Mother's Day. You and I, Memphis, Tennessee, going through personal problems. And guess what? You came to my room, we vented, we cried together, we cried some more, vented some more. We didn't leave that room until we confined in each other. And we left out of there and was like, you know what? We glad we had each other to lean on. And so, KD, for you to call your brother a sellout, man, hey, come on, dog. You know my love is for you. You know what my love is and my heart is for you. By the way, my wife, Vanity Perkins, your sister.
Talk about the perk.
Who you used to call, and she used to make them play the oxtails. With that good macaroni and cheese and cornbread. She still got love for you today.
I want oxtails.
Coming to my house, my oldest two sons, and used to walk through the door, little Kennick Stone, who they used to say, hey, what's up, Uncle KD? And you used to play fight with them. They still got love for you today. By the way, this same sellout, this brother that's sitting right here on this ESPN platform talking to you today, I still love you to this day, my brother. And I'm going to leave it at that.
To this day, my brother. To this day.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Listen,
wait, Max didn't know what to say. He didn't. Wow. Yeah, we can end it on that one. But yeah, Kendrick.
Doing too
much, brother. They all doing too much. At the end of the day, I feel like this season's gonna get canceled. People getting tested as we speak. People are popping up with the
Four players on a Western Conference contender have tested positive over the past few weeks. Man, cancel the season.
And Nugget Center. The Nugget Center got
Jokic, Slim Joker now.
Is he back in the States or was he?
No,
he was at home, right?
So
he can't even fly back.
He ain't flying.
He ain't come back.
Leave that over there. We got enough over here.
We'll see. But on that note, good show. We just, again, as usual, did not get to everything. But on that note, my name is Cecil. I'm your host for Let 'Em Speak, episode 6. Thank you guys for watching. Keep in touch. Stay on our Instagram. We have a 7-day devotional that is continuing this week. You probably should be on the last day because of this recording being on a Friday. So you probably already seen most of it. Song of the week that you're about to hear is Lockdown by Anderson .Paak. And tune in next week. This is episode 6. And guess what? We will be back Tuesday. We are now 2 pods a week. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for talking about us. Thank you guys for spreading the love. And because of that, we're coming back Tuesday. Happy Friday. And so thank you guys. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, thank you guys so much for subscribing. If you're listening to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you spread the word about Let Them Speak podcast presented by the Craft Factory. Visit us at thecraftfactory.org. I'm with the boys Abraham, Osahon. We signing out. Adios.
To this day, my brother.
To this day. To this day. With them oxtails.
And the Mac.
Play the oxtails.
Tell Uncle C and Osa and A that we love you.
Oh, Jesus.
You got love. Because we the sellouts that love you, dog. All right, we out.